Hi, my name is Ron Frost, and I want to share with you today 4 basic principles that if you apply this into your life, regardless of what the subject matter is, you will not only become successful at that, but you'll learn to master it, and you learn to master it and share it with others. Now, how I learned this was really from truly a very difficult time in my life. I had gone from a secure engineering job into the world of sales, and it was 100% commission. I know my friends, my family thought I was crazy. But I knew that this was perhaps a better life for me. It was more fitting of my personality, and I felt that if I could continue to persist at this, I could be extremely successful. However, after my first several months, I completely ran out of money. I couldn't afford my apartment. Things got really difficult. I felt I got to the point where I was deeply depressed, and I was ready to completely just kind of give up on the sales job and try to beg for my engineering job back. What I realized, and I went through these 4 things, and as I discovered them and as I applied them, I realized that not only did it turn things around, I went from being broke and barely able to afford my apartment to less than a year and a half later owning my own house, my very first house I ever bought. After that, I also went from being a person that was ready to quit sales to being number 1 in my company. And I consistently sold over $1 million a year while the regular playing field was less than half of that in sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you these 4 principles, and I want you to think about them and think about whatever it is you're doing today. How can you apply these into your life? Now, what it is the acronym. If you can think of the acronym of MEAT, all right? If you're a vegetarian, we'll probably have to come up with a vegetarian acronym, but MEAT. Use these letters to remember this. And the first one is mindset. The very first thing that I had to do was I had to pick myself up and tell myself that, if anybody else could do this, I can succeed at it too. It's that simple. If anybody else could succeed at this, I can succeed at this. Matter of fact, I can even become better. If I put my whole heart and my whole mind into this, I can learn how to master this. So, it's just one of those things that regardless of where you're at, and regardless of what your struggles are, if you just dig down deep inside and say, I am not going to quit, I'm going to persist, I'm going to do whatever it takes to master this, to become the best at this. Look at the misfortune, look at the situation as being something that's desperately talking to you to turn your life around. Instead of being a victim, instead of you saying like this isn't working and giving up and saying poor me, use this as a tool. The great successes in this world have taken those as turning points. I mean, if you look into the number of times that Walt Disney failed and he went bankrupt, and then later, of course, he created Disney World. He used those as momentary times where he turned his life around. He became more mentally tougher in his resolve to achieve success. So whatever it is, you want to become mentally tough, and you want to develop what's called that mindset of success. Successful minds think a certain way. They are determined. They don't necessarily know the answers, but they know they're going to get the answers. So that's the very first thing, is you have to every day when you wake up in the morning say, I'm going to do this. I don't necessarily know how, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to seek out the information. I'm going to find out how to do this, and I'm going to take persistent and consistent action to achieve it. The second thing is you need to educate. You need to educate yourself, and you need to not only just learn, you need to commit to mastery. You need to become the best at it. I've made a decision to read as many books in sales, time management, leadership, communication skills, rapport building skills, everything that had to do with sales. I knew that if I was going to master this, whether it was reading books, whether it was listening to cassettes, whether it was listening to DVDs, I guess I'm dating myself with cassettes, but literally I was listening to this stuff all the time. As I was driving from appointment to appointment, I would listen. At home I would read. I attended seminars. I went to different sales training programs. I invested the money into myself to take these programs because I knew that the difference between the people that were successful and myself was they had knowledge. And I just had to go out there and get that knowledge. So you want to make sure that, number 1, you keep the mindset up. Every day you want to keep that mindset up. You want to keep training yourself and putting that belief into yourself that you're going to succeed. And every day you want to think about, how do I educate myself? What do I need to learn to become better to be able to master this? You want to learn it so well that someday you can teach it to somebody else. Now the next step is you need to actually apply this. You need to get active. You need to get out there. We know that a lot of these books that are called self-help, well, most people just read them, they close them, and they put them back on a shelf. That's shelf help. You don't want shelf help. You want to apply it, and you want to create what's called self, inner self. They say 5% of the people that go to seminars, that listen to DVDs, and actually read books, 5% of them actually apply it. You want to be that 5%er. You want to be that person that actually takes that material, that educational material, and you want to apply it into your life. Because when you do that, you're going to take whoever this is, whoever the author is, whoever is the person that designed that program, that taught you, you're going to take that and you're going to apply it into your own life. And it's going to become a new aha. It's going to become a new material because you're unique. You're different. And as you share that material and you read a variety of books and you're going to find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And you're going to master it. You're going to take it to another level. And after you do that, then you're going to be able to take, and this is the give back. You need to teach somebody else. For all this to work, for you to be able to become a master or a guru, a person that is totally successful in whatever it is, you need to be able to teach it. You need to be able to write a book on it, to get up there and talk about it, to be able to mentor an individual, to be able to help somebody. The reality is many of us live in that fear, like if I share this with somebody else, they're going to be better than me. We're not. The truth is we're not in a competitive world. And as you give, so shall you receive. So when we give of ourselves, regardless of what it is, whether it's knowledge, whether it's money, that sense of giving expands within our life tenfold. So in order to master, get the mindset, develop the education, apply it in the real world, apply it in your life, be the guinea pig of the material, and develop it in such a way, if you can develop it into a system, if you can put it into a book, if you can build, even if it's a PDF or build a PowerPoint and be able to show people or mentor somebody one-on-one, teach them these skills, life will reward you. Zig Ziglar has a famous quote. It says, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And that's the secret behind this. So remember the word MEET. Mindset, educate, apply, and teach. My name is Ron Frost, and I'm asking you to commit to mastery and be unstoppable in the pursuit of your dreams.